Hello once again and welcome to my channel. I'm Cyrus and this is Tuntum Network. Kindly click on the subscription button to support us if you haven't done this already. Thank you so much. And in this video, I want to talk about some killings happening in South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, especially about a Ghanaian guy by name Mohammed who was gunned down on the 24th of March, just this month, this year. If you are an African, I'm talking to you as a brother. If you are an African and you have plans of traveling to South Africa, whether for visit, for work, or to hustle, I suggest to you, you listen to this video before you embark on that journey. I have lived there and I will not use my platform to lie to you or misinform you. So please come with me. So less than 1 week ago this year in Soweto in Joburg, a Ghanaian young man who's called Mohammed, who works in a barbering shop as a barber, was unalived whilst working in the night shift in the shop by a group of South African guys who barged in with guns. They entered, they looked for him specifically and offloaded the barrel. Ladies and gentlemen, he died on the spot. But apparently, these South African guys had come into that shop to steal from them before and were chased away when this same Mohammed guy pulled out his own gun against them. So they took notice of him. They went and rearmed themselves. They prepared themselves, and this time they succeeded in catching him off guard, and that was the end of the guy's life. Ladies and gentlemen, that incident is not a coincidence, nor an abnormality. That incident is what townships in South Africa has become. Park Station in Soweto was the first place I lived or stayed nearly 2 weeks in South Africa. And so I can tell you for a fact that security for foreigners, especially for Western African men in this country, is non-existent. It doesn't matter whether you are minding your own business or being kind to them. When they feel they want something you have, they will simply ambush you and take it. That is how they treat us. When I stayed in Soweto, every day I would hear multiple cases of either rape or gunfire exchanges. The people within these townships have access to all manner of firearms, and it was shocking to me. Their actions on a daily basis shows a people with zero fear for the rule of law. I mean, they have zero fear for the presence of the police or any law enforcement agencies. Severally, I'm talking to you guys, right in front of my eyes, they attacked people at the traffic light, which they call robots, and took their belongings whilst walking confidently away. And on one day, they ransacked me and my Nigerian friend in the middle of Park Station, for those who know, while everybody looked on, but mind their own businesses. For you that wants to travel to South Africa from Ghana, whether you are from Cameroon, Nigeria, Senegal, Mali, Ethiopia, or others, listen to me carefully. Don't. And I'm saying this in cap letters. Don't. Don't go on the vacation or on that vacation if you cannot restrict yourself to specific places far from their townships. Listen, if you are moving there for a job and it's going to be a hair salon job, my advice to you is this: don't. One time I went to visit my friends in their shop in Joburg around 6:30 p.m. and I could see their security gate lowered all the way down to just leaving a few inches at the bottom. I could see lights inside the shop, which suggested my friends were in there, but there was no sound coming out. Ladies and gentlemen, I knocked, I banged on the gate, and I shouted their names until I left. The following day, they told me this: they had guns pointed to their heads while they lay on the ground. Listen to me, folks. If you choose to go there and end up in a bad situation, remember, I first told you. This part of my story will even shock you the more. When I was ransacked by the South African thieves in broad daylight in Park Station and nobody really cared, I ran to my other Ghanaian friend's shop I knew just around the corner in Park Station. At the time, my friend operated a leather shop. While I was still shivering from the shock of what had just happened and telling my friend my ordeal, he laughed at me and showed me several scars on the back of his neck and on his thigh and on his hands. Apparently, he has been attacked severally in his shop. But what will shock you the most is when I finally wanted to return to Ghana and went there the day before my flight to wish him goodbye. I got to his shop, and before I would ask anyone of his whereabouts, I saw his obituary on the wall with his face on it. The guy had been shot dead by thieves who attacked his shop. Ladies and gentlemen, I kid you not, I trembled in my pants until I got back to my room and locked my door. Until the next day, it felt like I had won lottery. When the flight took off the next day from O.R. Tambo Airport, I said in my head, never again. So listen to me. I have friends who live there and still work there, and every day they want to return home. Their challenge is their visas, which are expired, and some of them don't have the money for flight. Mohammed's death happens every time in South Africa. Every day in South Africa and so on, their internal security systems don't really care. Even though the CCTV camera footage is available to the police for investigations, trust me, nothing will come out of it. There are so many of such untold, unresolved murders in South Africa. The country, I'm telling you, is beautiful on one hand and has certain economic opportunities many African countries don't have in their country. And that's why, irrespective of what's going on there, we still see other African nationals moving there. But, ladies and gentlemen, I would never, ever encourage any African to travel there, whether for school, for vacation, or to work. The level of anger in the hearts of South African black men towards other black Africans is unbelievable. They feel other black Africans particularly come there to take away their economic opportunities and their women. They don't want to see you with their women, and they are not happy seeing you thrive off of working on your own business in their country. They just don't, ladies and gentlemen. They will call you all manner of names like quere quere, which is derogatory in meaning, and they will attack you when the opportunity comes. I personally feel they want to be in their country alone. So let's leave them alone. They won't travel to your country and don't come to theirs. They are on the top 5 lists of African countries with the highest rape and crime cases. That is not by chance, folks. If you didn't know before, now you do. Stay in your country and develop where you live. We must force the hands of our own governments to provide the type of environment we go out there to experience. We cannot continue to run and run when there is so much to do in our own home countries. Every country has its own problems, and South Africa's problem is crime and a lack of hospitality for black Africans in their own suburbs and townships. I have come to terms with this reality, and I've therefore decided to stay home and be a part of the change I want in my own country. Our condolences go to the family of Mohammed. It's unfortunate that this has happened. And to the people of South Africa, I don't know what you guys are up to, but I can promise you this. This image you have carved for yourselves for years will never help your country in the long term. The world has become a global village. People are moving and intermarrying. Your national flag is a rainbow, for goodness sake. It's a rainbow color. It's so un-South African to have a rainbow color flag and not accept your own black friends. If you are a rainbow nation indeed, let your actions show, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for taking time to watch this video. God bless you, folks, and see you in the next one. Until then, it is bye-bye for now.